And on to Uganda now. The country's banking sector is registering renewed growth, and China is partly responsible for that. Uganda's top commercial banks say an increase in bank guarantees to Chinese firms operating in the country is doing the trick. CGTN's Michael Baleke has that report.
China has gained a sizable stake in Uganda over the years. The country's contractors dominate some of the major infrastructure projects, and cheerfully behind the Chinese are the local banks.
China remains a very key partner for Uganda. As you know, China Exim Bank has financed a majority of our large infrastructure projects. They continue to be a key partner to the government. I think what we're trying to figure out now is how do we take it to the next level where the Chinese private sector and the Chinese private banks start to work with Ugandan private sector as well.
China is funding a number of key infrastructure projects in Uganda, where over 200 Chinese companies are involved. According to Stanbic Bank Uganda, bank guarantees to these Chinese companies have grown by more than 50%. This is partly attributed to the recovery of the banking sector.
One of the key measures that we look at is what does the lending look like? Are people borrowing more? Are people creating more wealth? Are deposits growing? And we've been able to clearly see that private sector credit growth is now going into double-digit territory.
But the costs of offering services are still the challenge, impeding commercial bank growth. In Uganda, China is actively engaged in the financing and construction of a number of large-scale investments, from roads, hydropower dams to oil and gas, among others. These projects are expected to have lasting effects on the country's economic outlook. Commercial banks also point to new innovations like agency banking, which are opening new possibilities for the country's financial sector.
It allows us to reduce the amount of cash activity, small value cash activity in our branches, and it allows us to enhance our customer experience in the branch.
Ugandans living in areas without a commercial bank are now able to access formal banking services like deposits, withdrawals, and transferring money. Customers can also pay bills as well as access loans from a local agent. Experts on banking believe this will promote financial inclusion, but most importantly, grow the banking sector. Michael Baleke, CGTN, Kampala, Uganda.